And we always want to know what the shape of things is. And geography is remarkably personal when you get to that point. And there are a whole bunch of different data sets out there, and they all disagree. And what we really wanted to do is we wanted to say, hey, Mechanical Turkers, what neighborhood is this? And use Turk and other things for crowdsourcing data. And the other reason that it said losing money and time is that a lot of crowdsourcing data is contributing it yourself, or getting other people who are like-minded to contribute it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to crowdsource data effectively. I'm very much on the fringes of the OpenStreetMap community. Clearly it works. And there are also other types of data that companies would like to get as far as map data. I mean, how do we do it? I want this to be a discussion, so I'm actually glad that it's not a classroom type thing. So I want someone else to talk.
We have winequesters.com, and we're gathering the data for wineries with tasting rooms. We've got it reporting our database, and I hire one woman in the Philippines to harvest what's on the winery websites and put that in our database. And I also now have another woman, she's only 18, but she's calling around to the wineries and getting several different points that are particularly critical to make sure we have updated tasting fees, things like that. And so that's how we get it. I've looked at Mechanical Turk, but I can't figure out how that would actually work.
Well, I mean, I think with Mechanical Turk, you probably set it up so instead of having one person calling the wineries, you could say, here, for 10 cents per winery contact info, like, go for it.
But how do you get them from all calling, this overlap? I can't figure out how to get it so that one person will call one winery or take one region or something. I mean, I'm paying 50 cents now.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I can't figure out how you could overlap with, again, the community thing.
Yeah.
Is that crowdsourcing? I think crowdsourcing is free.
Well,
crowdsourcing's free, but you've really got to bait your sites to get started. And that's what Yelp did. They put in a lot of their own material to get it started. But also, you're sitting around waiting for crowdsourcing. Good luck, because people are busy now, and they aren't.
I do think
3 years ago, there was really not that many places they could participate. Now, there are so many places with crowdsourcing set up. It's like, every time survey pops up in your life, whether it's an email or on the website or something, none of us have time even if we care about the company.
Well, it seems like part of the problem there is that when we're asked to crowdsource, depending where our data is going, it's beneficial back to us or it's not. In your case, what are you doing? Are you treating the data that's collected, crowdsourced or not, as proprietary data or not?
At this point, we copyright it.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of another issue around crowdsourcing. Should you? I mean, or what's the benefit to the people that would source your data if you're going to copyright the data?
Well, right now he's not.
He's paying for it.
Right now he's paying for it. He's not crowdsourcing.
But if you're waiting for crowdsourcing and hoping that eventually you can get people to add it for you.
Well, I don't mind paying it. I'm not sure we'd get much with crowdsourcing. It's
Okay.
just.
That
I've thought about it. I've looked at it.
That brings up a good point, though. I'd like to open that one up to the conversation. Is crowdsourcing data simple? When is it so much work for crowdsourcing that people don't do it unless it's really in their own interest? So, like, for instance, OpenStreetMaps, I'm excited about that. I know I could get people in my local community to contribute to OpenStreetMaps, but I could only get them to contribute to OpenStreetMaps during a crisis, or I could get them to contribute to OpenStreetMaps during like a festival where I do a whole bunch of some kind of cool, crazy PR campaign to throw stuff in there. CloudMade makes a big PR push in order to. They spend a lot of money getting people excited. So one of the things that since it's an open forum, when we talk about crowdsourcing from all of our businesses' perspective, if anyone would like to comment. What level of data do you get for crowdsourcing? When does your user have either A, crowdsourcing overload, which is a great question because it's now no longer new. People are going to have a lot of options for crowdsourcing. Then B, when do they go from writing a Yelp-like review to selecting 4 stars to doing a up or a down thumb or to doing, fuck it, I'm not doing any work. It's kind of like a continuum of what kind of work you can get out of folks. I'd be interested to see if any of you guys currently get crowdsourced data, if you're seeing the quality and time come down on it.
So what we're basically doing, we're doing a navigation system based on OpenStreetMaps in Germany. And when we launched that, since then we have like a back channel where you can report bugs and then either fix them yourself or some OpenStreetMappers fix them. And when we launched it, we got 1,000 reports a day since then, like 4 weeks ago. So it works really, you see really that people, basically what they do is, because with your navigation system you drive always to your home address.
Right.
So people don't fix anything else, but they fix everything around their home address that they can start navigating properly.
So they scratch their own itch.
So
and that's enough of a benefit.
yeah, that's right. There's
I mean,
a value proposition to them directly.
It's like, yeah, if you want to use your navigation system, map your neighborhood, otherwise it'll be crappy.
Otherwise, you buy TomTom or something. You
Yeah.
get an outlay of money.
And that's basically what we see great pickup. You don't see that people are like certainly going and mapping in some other parts, so that's not really what you get them easily to do. But say, hey, map your own neighborhood and we give you better navigation from that on. That's working greatly. I mean, you have thousands of people doing that.
Are they fixing that themselves, or are they reporting a bug?
Both. I mean, we have like 2 groups. One group which just like only reporting it, and then some other people pick it up. But still, for the mappers, it's a good value because they say like, if I have like a proper report saying this is wrong, it's better for me than where I just need to figure it out, because it's fairly difficult to fix things when you have a map which looks good, but maybe isn't good. So then it's good value for the mappers as well, and they pick it up quite good. And some other people just get an account and fix it up themselves.
So I think that's a good point. Your users not only have motivation because it's going to fix their problem, but they have expertise, right? They know better than you do what's wrong about only the few blocks around their house. They're probably not experts around the rest of the city, but around their house. So that's you need this combination, right? So when you're talking about crowdsourcing neighborhoods, I would think you would have that issue a lot. That I can't pay a penny to anyone to tell me about a neighborhood boundary because most people only know their neighborhood. So I mean, it might work well with Flickr, where you can get everyone to upload their photos and tag it with the neighborhood. But in general, Mechanical Turk seems like the kind of thing where you need people who already have that expertise. And in these local cases, yeah, it's around your house that you have.
What you see is that some people really take it as a great value for them. They're actually not saying that you let them do something, but they say, hey, I live somewhere where my TomTom device was always crappy, and now, okay, maybe I need to invest an hour or 2, but then I can be really sure that it's great, and I couldn't do that with my TomTom. So what we made is like we made it as a value proposition to the user. So we didn't say, hey, we're kind of like creeping you into doing something, but we're saying, listen, what you do is you get the best system in the world, but you need to contribute, and that's what people love it or hate it. So we came before from using a Navtech map, and the people either really think, hey, what the fuck, I don't want to have to do anything with my map, it should just work. And these people you'll lose, but on the other side there's like the more engaged people who really love it, and that's like the split which we could see pretty clearly.
So what other sort of incentives can we provide to users to actually provide data, and what can we do to get them to expand outside their areas of immediate expertise? I mean, seeing Dennis's talk at Where 2.0, like that really, what Foursquare seems to do to people is it gets them out more, and it's also got the gaming component, which encourages them to check in. And how can we tap into that for crowdsourced data? Ideas?
Well, look at our situation. We want to move beyond scale up from California, Oregon, Washington, and India and China are starting to have these little tasty wine regions. And I don't want to go to China and try to map and all that. So how do I get that data into our database at a fairly low cost? And that's what I'm looking at.
I'll just tell you about what we're doing because it's exactly on point. I started a company about 5 years ago called Moolah.com, and it was supposed to be sort of a web television convergence on a game show. And as part of that process, it turned into a rewards environment where I had to learn how to motivate people to do stuff. And in this case, it was, how do I get people to interact with advertisers, perform actions, do things, and give them rewards currencies, gaming elements, and all that stuff. And as part of that process, I learned